Whack pads, Dubsy bricks, and a little bit of progress here in the Lego room, and the skirting board is on, and I've also put the primer coat on here as well, so that's all good. Brought some wood inside just in case it rains, so I don't get that wet. But the problem I'm having at the moment is working out how I'm going to be having the table layout in here. Now, originally I was going to have it so that there was a bit along here against the wall, and I was going to have the Wayne Manor and the Batcave on the end. The table would have then gone along a little bit, and then it would have come out this way. However, it wasn't going to be that long, and also the other problem I was thinking about is I wouldn't have been able to walk behind certain parts of it, and it'd be nice to be able to film all the way around. Now, this room is 7 meters long, 4.5 meters wide, and one thing I'm considering now is actually having a one long table coming along here, which is going to be best part of just, I think, 5.4 meters long, 1.9 meters wide. So it's going to take up that chunk there. Then over on this wall here, I would have had my computer table. I'll then have a second mock table here, which is like where I'll be building the tantive with some shelves above it with some hearts on there. And then over here, I was going to have a tool display unit for putting all of my UCS Star Wars builds and any other mocks on there that I might want to do so. I could put shelving also high up on the wall as well and put some sets up there as well. The walls are all going to be painted blue, so when I'm filming the city, it looks like you've got the sky as the backdrop. But one thing I am a little bit concerned about is filming opportunities. Will it be distracting seeing a display case or a table or something along this back wall here? So yeah, there's a lot of decisions to be made as to how I go about doing so. But I have got this wood in here, which is good. So what I might do is I might lay this out on the floor just to give myself a better idea of what's going where. And here we are in the Lego room, and as you can see, I've made a start on painting the walls. The first coat's gone on. It's looking very patchy at the moment, and it is actually a lot darker in real life than it's showing on the screen at the moment. But I'm just about to start putting the second coat on. All the skirting board, that's had a couple of coats, that's good. But the walls, it's taken me about 9 hours to do a coat in this room. It's such a large area to cover, and the cutting in at the top and the bottom is just so fiddly. But we're getting there slowly but surely. So yeah, today, coat number 2, and then hopefully that's all we're going to need in here. I have ordered the wood to make the table to go in here, and the second table will be going along the side here. And I just need to work out what I'm going to be doing about my display cabinet down the end there, whether I'm going to need to make that from scratch, or whether or not I can find a company that makes one that's deep enough that I can fit the UCS sets in there. But anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get the paintbrush and roller out and let's get painting. And that's the majority of the wood all cut ready to construct the table bases. The lengths just here, that's for the tantive table, and that's 2.4 meters long. And then these parts here are for the Gotham City. Now, the Gotham table is actually going to be 2 separate tables which are going to be joined together, or the frames are, should I say, and then it's going to have one continuous tabletop on there. And I'm going to be using these boards here. Now, these are floorboards, and they're the same as what I've got down in the actual studio itself, and they actually interlock into each other. So that's going to give it one nice, smooth, continuous surface all the way along. And here are the table legs over here, and on the actual main table, I think there's 32 table legs on the Gotham table, and also there are going to be some calyx units underneath it as well, which is going to help to take the weight as well, so it should have plenty of strength in there. If for any reason it feels like it's not quite strong enough, there's plenty of ways I can structurally engineer it so that it's nice and firm. But anyway, without further ado, let's start putting the tables together and see how they come out. And here it is, the Gotham table frame is all completed. Just need to cut the wood to go on the top of it, and also the border that will go round to give it a nice finishing touch. These tables do feel super strong, which is nice. And as I mentioned before, the gap between the floor and the beams that go across there are the height of a calyx unit, so they can also slide under there and help take some of the weight off there. But there's 32 legs on there, so that should be more than adequate for that. What I'll be doing once I've made the other table for the tantive is I'll move these tables over to this side of the room, give that a good clearing, hoover it, mop it and whatever else, get it all ready for the carpet tiles. I'll then carpet tile that side, then lift the tables, put them over on top of the carpet tiles, and then finish tiling it on this side. So it should be quite an easy job to do, and I can pick the tables up. If I just stand in these sections just here and here, I can lift it up and walk it across. So that's quite good. But yeah, really happy with how this is coming on. Anyway, let's get on to building the table for the Tantive 4, and we'll check back in once we've done so. And there's the second mock table frame all ready to go, and all I need to do is cut the wood that goes along the top and do the border around there. And again, with this table, it's the right height so a calyx will slide underneath it and help take some of the weight of the top there, just to give that a little bit extra support should I wish to do so. Now, the next thing I need to do is lift this frame up, put it upside down on top of these frames here, and then I can cut all of the wood down there ready to take to the tabletops for both these tables. Once I've done that, I'll give the room a complete clear out, get a really good clean, all ready for the carpet tiles. And they are due to arrive today, so fingers crossed that does happen. And then hopefully over the course of the weekend, we'll be able to make a start on getting the carpet laid. I do want to treat all of the legs on here and any part of wood that you're actually going to see. So I'm possibly going to paint it in a grey colour, just to give it a little bit of a nicer finish than the pine wood that you can see there at the moment. And a new addition to the tables here, I've made these boxes and they are for the drawers to sit on. So now the drawers will come up nicely to the top of the table. And what it's enabled me to do is it's going to give me something to screw the legs into to keep them all in place so they don't go anywhere. And I've also enabled me to put another 6 legs along the back there. Doesn't need it because there's these larger legs behind, but obviously it's just going to help to tidy everything up and just keep it just a little bit stronger. I am going to put another bit of wood just down the middle along there, just in case there is a little bit of give with the boards that I'm putting on top here if the Lego gets really heavy in the centre. But again, I don't think it's going to be an issue. And the table legs have all been painted, and I've just hoovered all the floor here, and I was going to start off by tiling the floor over here, then move the table over to its final position and then tile the rest of the room. However, having the table over this side, I think may well work out a little bit better. And my reason for thinking that is when I'm filming, I've done the walls in this blue colour to sort of like look like sky. And when I go around like this, the whole city is going to have sky behind it. Whereas if I have the table over this side when I'm doing it, you've got the door there. So I don't think it's going to look as good over this side than it is over the other side. The one disadvantage is I will be losing about 1 metre of wall space along here. Having everything else over on this side here, I could use the entire length of the wall. So I was going to have my computer table, then my Tantive table, and then a massive display cabinet. Whereas over here, I'll be having a gap for where the door comes to, then it'd be my computer table, then the Tantive table, and then the display cabinet on the end. So I will probably lose about 80 centimetres of display case. So just need to work out whether or not that is something that I want to do, or I could shrink my computer table and then obviously then I'll be losing less of that. So just a decision I need to make. But I do think that having the Gotham City over this side will look so much better. And that's the flooring all down. The tables are roughly where they're going to be. This one may come down this way just a smidge. But yeah, I've started bringing the calyx units in, as you can see there. And these ones here, I'm going to have 4 of those along the back wall there, just underneath the table. So it's going to help take the support. Then I've got some of these which are 4 long by 2, and they're going to be going down the centre just to help support the centre as well. There are plenty of legs on this. I don't think it's required, but it is a good way of me storing sets underneath the table here, because I've got a lot of backlog. There's also a lot of sets I've got for sale on Bricklink and things like that, so I want to just make sure they're all nice and tidily put away. This table here, but and again there's going to be a calyx underneath the centre section just there as well, again just to help take the weight of it. It shouldn't need it, it's got 6 legs on it, but I don't want any bowing on there whilst I'm building, so I thought I'd put one under there. And also, again, I'm going to have a lot of drawers underneath as well with parts which are just purely for the build that takes place on this table. So again, it's a good way of storing and organising stuff along there. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring out the calyx units, put them under here, and then I'll start adjusting the legs if they need adjusting. And I also need to put some wood in between these 2 sections here, and I will be joining the 2 tables together. And once I've done that, I can put the top all the way along there. So that's what we're planning on doing today, and by the end of today I'm going to be hopefully wrapping this video up, which will be the final update before we make a start on Gotham City. And this is the chaos and complete mess of what the old Lego room is looking like at the moment. There's parts of Gotham all over the place. And at the moment, I'm just trying to extract like these calyx units here to get out there. So then once I've done that, I can then start bringing stuff across in a more organised style. But yeah, this makes my head hurt just looking at this. But we'll get there eventually and have a nice tidy Lego room. And that's all of the legs, and they are all super strong now. I put a couple of extra ones in the middle. There's another beam of wood going all the way through the centre as well, because I wasn't happy with the gap that I had there. So I thought I'd just make that a little bit stronger. The calyx units, they're all underneath. We got the raised sections here, which is where I'm going to be putting my drawers of Lego, so that's all going to be there, so that when I'm working on my other mock table here, I can just turn around and the bricks are readily available. So that's going to work out well. But yeah, the calyx units there all over the far side, and there's one in the middle there as well, and down both ends, and it's all helping to take the weight of the tabletop itself. Not that it needs it, as I think there are 34 legs on the table now. So yeah, it's got plenty of support there. And I have been sort of like jumping over to get into the centre, and there's been no give at all. And I'm quite a heavy guy, so if you can take my weight jumping all over it, then it's going to be fine for the Lego City. But yeah, really looking forward to getting Gotham put on this table. It looks gigantic from here. I'm sure once I start putting the builds on here, it's going to start to shrink in size, or the look of it. But as you can see, I've started to put the boards on the end here. So they're all cut, ready to go. So I've got 2 down. I think I've got 38 more to go along there. But yeah, let's get doing that, and I'll check back in once we finish doing so. And there is the tabletop on, and I wish I could say it was all done with the exception of the sides. However, I miscalculated and I'm 2 pieces short. So first thing in the morning, need to take a trip to the hardware store, get another piece of wood, and then I can get that table all finished off. And what I'm going to do now is turn my attention over to the tentative table and make sure that I've got enough of the beams there, enough of the planks there to go all the way across. And if not, then I'll just pick some more of those up while I'm at it tomorrow. So let's go on and do that and see how it comes out. And the table is finally finished, and the wood does look like it does need a really good clean or a sand. And it has been an ordeal this morning getting this all finished. Went over to the builders merchants about 8 o'clock this morning to get the one last bit of wood, and it's good 30 kilometres each way. It takes about half an hour with all the country lanes to get down. Went over there, got the wood, chopped it up, brought it back, was trying to get it in place, and it just would not go together. And it was only when I was looking afterwards that, despite ordering exactly the same wood, this is what I had got this morning, and this is what I've been previously using, and it is just slightly different in style. And when you try to connect the two together, although it does just about go together if I'm going on to what is the new piece, the other way round, it just would not go in there. So I had to go all the way back over to the builders merchants, and luckily they had one last piece of the old stuff, and apparently it's just changed the supplier, I believe, is where the issues come from. So yeah, so the last piece in the whole of the yard was this tatty old piece here. Luckily they didn't charge me for it, which was really nice of them. But yeah, here it is. So it's now finally finished on regards to the tabletop. So all I need to do now is just attach the sides to it, tidy it all off, treat the knots on there, and then give it a bit of a paint. I'm not going to worry about the main surface painting wise, because it's going to be covered with base plate, so I don't need to worry about that at this moment in time. If I ever dismantle the city and then decide I want it to look better, then I can always paint it or whatever afterwards. But yeah, it's nice to finally have that part of the job done. And on this table over here, again, all I need to do is put the sides around it. But yeah, there it is. There are a couple of little bits I need to do. I need to put the 45-degree supports on a couple of the legs. There's not many legs that are going to need it. These ones here and on the other end are going to need it. And I'm going to probably do it on this one here, on the 4 corners of this table. But all the other legs are so sturdy. As I said, I've been climbing over the table at times, and it hasn't moved a millimetre. So that's all good. Yeah, next update will actually be in here. So what I'm going to be doing this afternoon is putting the edges on here, give it a paint or the first coat on there, and it's going to take 3 coats of the grey to get it to the same colour as at the bottom there. And once I've done that, I also need to hang the blinds up on the windows to stop the daylight coming through. And yeah, then it's a case of just bringing all of the Lego over into this Lego room. But I thought I'd just show you the state of the Lego room on this last Lego room update. I will do a room tour once I'm in here and settled and everything. But yeah, I still need to bring my computer table in, and I need to make a display stand to go down the end there. But the display stand, or display cabinet, sorry, that will be for a later job, should we say. I just want to get in here, start building Gotham City up again, make a start on the Tantive 4, and yeah, all the good stuff. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else that's into Lego Star Wars or Lego Batman for Gotham, please share the channel with them. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.